All right, y'all. Hit the like button, follow, subscribe, enjoy the podcast. All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Shooting Par podcast. We just had a bunch of events this past weekend. We don't have a lot in the golf news for this week, but there's a lot to talk about with these three events, plus the fourth one, which was the ESO Championship. So second PGA Championship for the PGA that weekend. So we'll jump right into it. We'll jump off with the event that I was the most excited about, the LPGA Amundi Evian Championship, Evian Resort Golf Club, Evian Le Bon, France. This was a major for them, so that's why I was so excited to go ahead and watch it. It was a hell of an event, and to be honest with you, I'm pretty much going to say that for every event this past weekend, because every event was amazing, as far as watchability wise. So yeah, this one came down to the wire with a crazy few holes to end it. Instead of kind of going through the entire 18 holes of that last round, I'm only going to focus on the back nine. So on the back nine of the final round, you had Lauren Coughlin in first at 17, Stephanie Kyraku at 16 under, in second, Akya Faru, I believe, at 15 under, and then you had Patty Tavana Tanaki. Yeah, Tavana Tanaki. Sounds about right. At 12 under. And then from there was a lot of changes. So I'm just going to go through kind of how it all went down, and then I'll give you guys the final score there. So for Patty, she went ahead and birdied 11, 12, and 14, and then she also eagled 18 to get herself to 17 under, right in the running for the championship. Lauren Coughlin didn't have as much success on the back nine, parring every hole other than 16 and 17, which she ended up bogeying to drop her down to the final score of 15 under. So she kind of dropped herself out of first place and out of the running for the tournament completely. Unfortunate for her, but that's what happens if you're not going to perform on the back nine. Everyone else put pressure on her. Stephanie Kyraku made her push in the final stretch of holes with birdies on 15 and 16 to get to 18 under before bogeying 17, which does end up hurting her in the end, to bring her score back to a 17 under going into 18. Akya Faru bogeyed 12 to go to 14 under, 3 back from the lead, but then she birdied 14, 15, and 16 to be right into the running with 2 holes to go. She parred 17 and was at 17 under, same as Stephanie going into that final hole. On the final hole, Stephanie was able to birdie it, thinking that it would be enough to force a playoff if Faru missed her eagle opportunity, but Faru came back and hit the final putt with confidence, earning herself her first major win and an exciting and crazy back nine that led to a lot of movement and a lot of uncertainty on who might pull it out. Unfortunately for Stephanie, her initial drive was a little bit awry and didn't allow her to go after that par 5, so she had to take a layup, which is why she was only able to birdie. And Akya Faru hit an amazing second shot that just cleared the water in front of the green, hit the front of the green, rolled up, and gave herself an opportunity at eagle, which is what ended up winning her the tournament. So the top 5 goes Hiran Rue. Hiran Rue, I believe, at minus 13 in fifth. Lauren Coughlin, minus 15 in fourth. Patty Tavatanaki at minus 17 in third. Stephanie Kiriakou, minus 18 in second. And Akia Furu, minus 19, won the whole thing. Again, great for her. It is her first major win. She had a lot of close encounters with major wins through her career, but this is the first one for her. And again, it was just an absolutely crazy back nine with, honestly, I think probably 3, 4, at least 4 people sitting at the top of the leaderboard at one point or another on that back nine. So it was pure chaos. Great golf to watch, though. Obviously, it would have been fun to see them go to a playoff hole, but I mean, there's nothing else that you can ask for more than, players taking risks and getting rewarded for it. I mean, that's exactly what Ayaka Faru did. She hit an amazing second shot on that 18th that if she mishit it even a hair, it's in the water. Or if she just didn't get all of it, it's in the water. So she had an amazing shot to be able to carry that water and to get onto the green, to give herself that opportunity at an eagle, which obviously, I mean, she could have laid up. She knew that Stephanie Kiriakou was going to have to lay up. So she could have laid up, but she said no. She wanted to go for the win. So that was awesome to see. And again, it brought out the best in each other, I think, as far as Stephanie and Ayaka. So, yeah, it was an awesome tournament to watch out there in France. So I'm excited for the Olympics that are coming up, for them to see a few of these players out there with that also. But we do have an event for them this weekend that'll be coming up. Actually, back here in the States in Ohio. I thought they were staying out there, but I guess they're coming back to the States for this weekend, which is absolutely brutal for travel. But you gotta do what you gotta do when you're getting paid, I guess. So we'll move on. We'll go to the first PGA event. The only one that I'm really going to talk about as far as the leaderboard and whatnot. I didn't do as much research or even watch the ESO event, so I was more focused on the LPGA, the Scottish Open, and Live. So for the PGA Genesis Scottish Open, the Renaissance Club, North Berwick, Scotland, we had a lot of people that ended up in, I think it's like tied for fourth is what it was, but there was like 8 of them. So you had Rory McIlroy, Aaron Ray, and then Sahith Theegala, Sungjae Im, Ludwig Eiberg, Colin Morikawa, all at minus 14, tied for, I guess, fourth, I believe, is what it technically says. Roman Langescu? Yeah, Roman Langescu, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce that. Minus 15 in third. Adam Scott, minus 17 in second. And Robert McIntyre at minus 18 in first. Homegrown kid winning it in Scotland. It was, again, an amazing end to this tournament. And that's a common theme for this week. I mean, the ending to all of these tournaments were out of this world. So pretty much every single one of them had somebody making an insane shot or finding a way to come back and win it. So, yeah. So the hometown kid wins it with a 22.1 foot birdie on the final hole. You can't write a better script than that. I mean, hometown kid missed out on it last year because Rory beat him for it. He wasn't going to let this one slip away, and it was awesome to see after he hit the putt. The crowd burst into song as is normal in, Scotland and England and whatnot. And he was able to just sit there and soak it all in on his home soil, which he's said multiple times that he feels more happy being at home and on his home soil. Apparently, I was reading a little bit. He's had a little bit of homesickness since he got his tour card. I believe it was last year. He tried doing, somewhere down in Florida and whatnot, and just isn't really loving it. So I don't know what his next move is, but he loves being back home in Scotland, and it was awesome to see him win this. And you saw the emotion on him, and you saw how happy he was. And again, to be able to soak it in front of your home countrymen is amazing. So, with that being said, let's get to how he actually got there to hit that birdie putt, right? So he started day 2 behind his Ryder Cup teammate Ludwig Eiberg. Um, Ludwig struggled on the day shooting 3 over, but Adam Scott was the one that came out and didn't make it easy for Robert to walk away with the championship. So he put some pressure on him. Starting the back 9, Scott was at 15 under. Macintyre was at 15 under as well. But number 10 did not help Macintyre, as he would go ahead and he would go ahead and bogey that, as Scott would end up birdieing it, opening up a 2-stroke lead that would last until hole number 15, where Scott would stumble a little bit. He would end up bogeying that hole, meaning that he only had a 1-stroke lead going into 16. 16 was where everything changed, and you felt the momentum, and you kind of felt that maybe this was the opportunity, because on that par 5 15, McIntyre lost his drive outright, and it seemed like the tournament was starting to slip away from him a little bit. He's out there in the tall grass. The ball's in the deep rough. Like, it's not going to be an easy shot for him, and there was nothing that he could do. He could hope that he could hit it maybe 100 yards. And as he's sitting there looking at it and he steps up like he's going to go and hit it, he had metal spikes on his shoes. He felt the sprinkler head underneath, which, for anyone that doesn't know, if you have a sprinkler head, it's free relief. Like, a sprinkler head is in your hindering you at all with your swing or anything, you get free relief. So thanks to that, he was able to get free relief from that. Obviously, that it's not like he was able to get out of that rough, but he was able to at least, drop it and have it sit a little bit nicer on top than being stuck in the ground the way that it was. And listen, that was all that he needed. Getting that relief due to the rules. Like, he did it within the rules, but that was all he needed. He goes ahead, he smokes that second shot, ends up 6 feet from the pin for an eagle. Like, in actuality, if he's wearing soft spikes or anything like that, he never feels the sprinkler head. He's hitting that maybe 100 yards. And then all of a sudden, who knows if this is what we're talking about right now? Who knows if he's able to come back and win it? He was down by at least 1 stroke, he was down by a stroke on that hole, which he ends up eagling that, and Scott ends up birdieing it. So again, if he doesn't feel that, sprinkler head hits that maybe 100 yards, maybe he birdies it, maybe he pars it, and now he's down, down a stroke or 2 going into that final hole. So, that was the best shot of the day from him. It was absolutely amazing. And again, that was when you felt like everything changed for him, because I think everyone thought it was getting away from him. Everyone thought that he might fall on his face again a little bit, but no, he got that little bit of relief. He got that almost breath of new life, and he took full advantage of it. Smoked the shot within 6 feet. Eagles. Scott birdies it, tying the tournament up with 2 holes to go. And all the momentum was with McIntyre at that moment. So Scott would end up parring the final 2 holes, and as I talked about, McIntyre would end up birdieing the final hole from 22 feet. Again, in front of his fellow countrymen. Absolutely amazing. Sunk the putt. Like, absolutely amazing. Props to him. I know that one felt good. I know he was super excited about that. Talked about how he loved that tournament and how he followed it a lot, being from Scotland and whatnot. So that was amazing for him. Again, it was both of those tournaments that I just talked about were great tournaments to go ahead and watch. Both of them came down to the wire. Both of them came down to people making terrific shots, not just choking it away. which I feel like in the recent past, with Bryson winning the what do you win, the U.S. Open or the PGA Championship, whatever it was, whatever he won, you're talking more about Rory missing 2 4-foot putts in the final 3 holes. Like, there's some choking away there. Like, these guys, this isn't anyone choking it away. It's both of these players going out and taking a risk and it paying off for them. Or in his case, him getting that little bit of relief within the rules and taking full advantage of it. So awesome to see. I'll jump into the live event here, which the next 2 events are, again, what helped this weekend to be so amazing. So again, it didn't matter if you were watching the LPGA, the Genesis Scottish Open, the live event, or the ESO Championship. All 4 of them had outstanding endings, and all 4 of them made for amazing viewership. So for live, it was Live Andalusia, Real Club Valderrama, Andalusia, Spain. So you had Louis Oosthuizen at -3, Patrick Reed at -3, tied for fourth. Sorry. Tyrell Hatton -4, tied for third. Anriban Lahiri. I was practicing that and I still can't say it. Anriban Lahiri -5 and Sergio Garcia -5 as well. I'll get into who wins that. Same with the team events, which you had Ripper at +3, Torque at +3 for tied for fourth. Stinger was even. They were in third. And then Crushers and Fireballs both at -5. So obviously we had 2 ties at the top there, which made for amazing TV, especially because Sergio Garcia is on Fireballs. Aniriban. I still don't know how to fucking say it. Aniriban is on Crushers. So obviously, both the team event and the individual went to a playoff, which I don't think has ever happened before. But with both competitions in the playoff, Sergio and his team Fireballs were able to pull out the win with both, leading to a historic double playoff victory, which was the first to happen in Liv's short history. Sergio was even going into the day with a -2 and a +2 for his first 2 rounds, so it wasn't looking great for him. Before going 5 under in that 3rd round, which is what helped him, or what got him into the running there. And Niriban, who had a 7-stroke lead on Sergio to start the day, fell apart on Sunday, shooting -2 and -5 before he would end up shooting a 2-over on that final day. So he left that door open for not only Sergio, but also for Fireballs. Because again, if he shoots just 1 more under there, he wins the individual and Fireballs wins the team. So unfortunate for him, but he would end up shooting again 2-over on the final day, including missing a 3-foot attempt at par on 18, which would have won both the individual and the team title for Crushers, forcing both the team and individual to go to the playoffs. So in the playoff, they had 2 holes, or they had to go 2 holes after both parring the first. Sergio would par that hole as well, where Aniriban would double bogey, giving Sergio the win. Felt bad for this dude because, again, he had a 7-stroke lead. He was at -7 and just absolutely fell apart on the final day. But oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, Sergio gets the win. That's also his first live tournament win. So awesome for him. He deserved that. And then for the team, his teammates Abraham Answer and David Puig beat the Crushers duo of Bryson DeChambeau and Paul Casey in the team aggregate score playoff. Yeah, team aggregate score playoff. I can't remember how exactly it works. I think like basically Answer and Puig both parred that first hole because I think they only did one. Both of them parred the first one, and DeChambeau and Paul Casey, one of them parred, and the other one shot a bogey. So it was something along those lines. I can't remember exactly. Um, but I mean, the turnout for Live was amazing, especially since Spain was in the Euro final in Germany on Sunday, which a lot of fans and a lot of people went to that. Um, but I think Spanish fans can be happy all around because it ended up being a perfect weekend. Because you had basically all three, or you had the Fireballs win, which three of them are from Spain. So a little bit of home cooking for them, which I said last week, and I should have taken my own advice, but I refused to. That I had a feeling that they were going to win this just because of the home cooking thing. I think the Australians, Ripper won the live event in Australia, so I should have known better, but it is what it is. But anyway, three of them are from Spain, so you basically had live sweep earlier in the day for Fireball and Sergio Garcia. Carlos Alcaraz won Wimbledon, and then La Roja would win the Euro final later in the day. La Roja is Spain's national team, for people who don't know. It's the Reds. But yeah, they would end up winning later in the day, so clean sweep for Spain when it comes to sports on Sunday. So great for them, I guess. Personally, I would have liked to have seen England win it, but then again, it's also kind of fun to see the England fans going crazy over Gareth Southgate for losing a second consecutive European Championship final. But neither here nor there. That would be a whole nother conversation anyway if we're talking about soccer, because Copa America was a disaster for the whole tournament, but I'm not even going to get into it. So last tournament, I threw this under golf news in the past week just because I didn't watch it that much. So I don't have a ton to say about it other than the ending was outstanding. The ESO Championship, once again, was the other championship that was being held by the PGA back here in the States, while the Genesis was over there in Scotland. It went to a 5-player playoff, which I don't think I've ever seen that. But basically, you had Harry Hall, Matt Neesmith, Zach Blair, Rico Hui, and Pearson Coody, all in the playoff. So after the first playoff hole, only 3 remained, with Zach Blair and Rico Hui both bogeying to fall out of the playoff running there. On the second hole, all 3 were able to par, keeping themselves in it. And then on the third hole, a par 3, everyone hit their tee shots off the green, with Coody and Neesmith being just behind the hole, and Hall was pin high to the right, decently away compared to where those two were. Hall would go ahead and chip it in. The other two basically had to make it. They weren't able to, giving Hall the exciting win. I mean, this weekend proved to be one of the best weekends in recent golf history. You had 3 playoffs, 2 for Live, 1 for the ESO, and the other 2 championships came down to the final hole. Like, there's nothing else that needs to be said. Like, it was an outstanding weekend. It's going to be hard to top it anytime coming soon, but the Open Championship is obviously going to be a ton of fun to watch this weekend. I don't think Liv plays again until next weekend because of the Open Championship, but yeah, that was probably the most outstanding weekend of golf that I've experienced in a long time. Again, 3 playoffs, the other 2 events going to the final hole, like absolute amazing shots being made all around. You only really had one choke job the entire tournament, which was an Iribon. So that was the only choke job I would say happened. I would say outside of that, Harry Hall, who was it? Harry Hall, Harry Hall, Robert McIntyre, Ayanka Furu all made amazing shots to go out and win the tournament. They didn't need as much help. Um, but I mean, at the same time, Sergio also went 5 under, which obviously was a heck of a score out there at that golf course because it seemed to be very tough to run a lot of low scores. So he did make a bunch of shots that clearly put some pressure on Aniribam. So very interesting, very amazing weekend. So outside of all of that, the only other thing I have for the golf news this past weekend, um, we had the American Century Championship. I didn't really watch any of it. I honestly didn't even know it was going on until I saw some videos of Jason Kelsey swinging the golf club, which, being a Philly guy, I love Jason Kelsey. So that was what interested me more than anything. Um, but basically, it was like a celebrity golf tournament. This past weekend had a ton of celebrities. You had Joe Pavelski, John Smoltz, Taylor Twelman, Aaron Rodgers, Steph Curry, Utley, Chase Utley, Jason Kelsey, Charles Barkley, and a ton of others. Um, in the tournament, I had to kind of look it up to understand the scoring or whatever. But Marty Fish outlasted Joe Pavelski to win it. Jason Kelsey, my guy, won the long drive competition. And then I did see like a news thing that I guess Charles Barkley had the best round of the tournament for himself on the final day when he was hungover, is what he was saying. So I don't know. You can go look it up. I'm sure there's some funny videos out there, especially Charles Barkley's swing and whatnot. Jason Kelsey doesn't have the prettiest swing, but he can clearly crush the ball if he won the long drive competition because a couple of those guys are some good players. Joe Pavelski, I know, is pretty low handicap. I don't know if I've ever seen Marty Fish actually play, but there was a few of the hockey guys in there. I didn't put their names down because there were just a ton of players in this. But there's quite a few of the hockey guys that were in there that I know have really low handicaps. So it's not like it was an easy tournament by any means. But we'll move on. We got upcoming events. Again, I didn't have much for the news this week. I didn't see anything. I've been trying to look it up. I've been trying to see if there's anything coming out. There's really nothing being said right now other than, who do you have winning the Open and things like that. So, just nothing worth me kind of saying to you guys. But we'll move on again to the upcoming events. PGA, you have the Open Championship Royal Troon, Troon South Ayrshire, Scotland, I believe. PGA second event is the Barracuda Championship, Tahoe Mountain Club, Truckee, California, and then the LPGA you have the Dana Open, Highland Meadows Golf Club, Sylvania. I should really practice these names. Sylvania, Ohio, is what we're gonna go with. So we have 3 events this upcoming weekend. I know we didn't pick anyone for the second PGA event last weekend, but that was just because we had, you had the LPGA and you had the LIV event, and for LIV we picked the individual and team. So I just didn't want to do that many picks, but we're gonna go ahead and pick them this week. So just a reminder for the season scoring. If your team or player makes the cut, then you get 1 point. Top 25 finish, 2 points. Top 15, 3 points. Top 10, 4 points. And top 5, 5 points, with the winner getting 10 points. I was horrible this past weekend. Absolutely atrocious. I picked Hideki Matsuyama. I didn't make the cut. Lilia Vu, I don't think made the cut either. Or no, she made the cut, but she was outside of the top 25. Cam Smith was top 10, and then Torque was top 5. I got 10 points. I'm at 52 for the season total. The random person last week absolutely killed it, my coworker. He took Ludwig Eiberg in the PGA, Ali Ewing in the LPGA, Louis Oosthuizen in the LIV individual, and then Stinger. I can't remember the exact way that he got to this number, but he ended up with 19 points last week, which was amazing. So the random person is at 52 points, which I was crushing them, but now I'm getting killed. And then we have Mark's picks from last week, which he dominated. Colin Morikawa for the PGA, Ali Ewing for the LPGA, Joaquin Neiman for the Live Individual, and Fireballs for the Live Team. He got 10 points straight from the Fireballs, just for that. And then between the other three, he got 13 points. So knocked it out of the park. He's at 69 points total for the year. Yeah, I need to step it up. I'm getting smoked right now by him. So, I'll give you our picks for this week. I guess I'm just gonna say PGA Open or PGA Barracuda for who we're picking. So for the PGA Open Championship, I'm taking Ludwig Eiberg. Mark is taking John Rahm, and I did my coworker again because he knocked it out of the park last week for the random. So he is going to take Rory McIlroy. He's looking for a little bit of homegrown there, but I'm thinking Ludwig's been right there all season. He's going to get a win here, so I think this is his opportunity. For the PGA Barracuda, I'm taking Taylor Pendrith. Mark is taking Joel Dahmen and Damon or Dahmen. I can't remember how you say it. The dude that wears the bucket hat. And then my coworker is taking Hayden Buckley for the Barracuda Championship, and then for the LPGA Dana Open. There's a lot of players not playing in this week, by the way. But my coworker took Hannah Green. Mark took Stephanie Kiriakou. And I'm taking Lexi Thompson. I think this is probably her best opportunity to win a PGA event with so many players not playing in it. And again, she didn't play last week because she absolutely hates that course. I've talked about it last week. But, her pettiness didn't allow her to play at that course last week. So she's rested. I think this is an opportunity for her to go out, get another win under her belt on the LPGA before, riding off into the sunset. So that is all I have for you guys this week. As always, hit the like button, follow, subscribe, go check out the Instagram page, check out the TikTok and whatnot. So go check it all out, and we'll see you guys next week.